We have with us Kareena Kapoor Khan, one of the most accomplished and glamorous stars of our time. She has held her own in the Hindi film industry for over 2 decades and is now making her OTT debut with the film Jaane Jaan. Kareena, welcome to Forbes India.
Thank you.
Just when you think you've done it all, you make your foray into OTT.
Well, I think that one has to keep, experimenting with the times, and I think the kind of content that people are, consuming is also a lot more interesting. COVID made a lot of shifts, so things have gone back and forth. Different kinds of films are being accepted. So, I signed this film and we shot it a year ago, and it's finally coming out on the 21st of September. So let's see. I think people are ready to also see me in a different light. After 23 years of working and constantly, being associated with the glamorous roles. So I think Sujoy's film will be slightly different.
Were you as excited while shooting this film as you probably were when you did Refugee over 2 decades ago?
I think, yeah, of course, because, this is actually coming into your home where you're, watching. I've watched so many of the OTT shows and films, and, it's like right there. I somehow feel it's a lot more different to a cinematic experience. In fact, it's quite close, you're actually watching everything even closer. So I am a little nervous, but I feel that Sujoy's made a fantastic film, and I'm worked with two of the finest actors, I think, of recent times, which is Vijay Varma and Jaideep Alawat. So I think I've learned a lot actually through working with them. So I'm excited for people to see us.
Yeah, and this one's a murder mystery, a thriller.
It's a thriller.
What drew you to the role, and were you finally relieved that it was not the usual run-of-the-mill stuff that is often offered to you?
I think that I've always tried to make a conscious decision of wanting to do different roles over the years. And I've always looked for a good thriller. I haven't really done a good thriller in a long time. And I think people, especially when you're watching it like you are going to on Netflix, they really enjoy, because I personally enjoy the whole thriller space. Crime, thriller. As an avid watcher on OTT, I instantly tune into films and shows of that kind. Yeah. So I was drawn to the film instantly.
Yeah, you've seen various phases of the film industry. The digital medium is the new one, and people are widely accepting it. There's a larger audience over there as well. As an artist, is there any difference in the way you approach a film for a theatrical release as opposed to one for an OTT?
I think it's content is content. It's about, how you approach your character. I think if this film was coming in the big screen, onto the screen as well, I would have played it exactly as that, because I'm an artist, and today I think it's an industry of different kind of actors, it's not an industry, I think, only of stars today. I think today the artist is being recognized far more than the star. First, you have to be on top of the game as an artist, and then you follow on as a star. So I think today the approach for, I think, an actor should be just towards its content, towards the script, towards its character, rather than just, going on, is this going to be coming on the screen, or is this coming on OTT? I think today everybody just wants a good story and a good performance.
I described you as glamorous in my intro. The image of you is that of a diva, and that's primarily because of your fantastic performance and much loved performance as Pooh in Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. But is that really the case? Do you feel you're a star in your head, you're a superstar?
No, I've never felt as anything of that sort, because I've always looked at myself as an actor who's always wanted to do something constantly. Otherwise, it would have been impossible to survive 23 years with each decade having a bash of new actors, new talent. So I've never really thought that, okay, I'm a star. I think people kind of make different assumptions that, okay, she's a diva because she's done Pooh, or she's a star because she's done Geet. But honestly, I always look at myself as, the person. And people now, after working for so many years in the industry, I think they also kind of know my fans also know, this is the way she is.
Yeah.
I've been pretty honest and candid, in fact, in most interviews, in most places.
So no starry tantrums that one associates an actor
No, I
with.
think now it's like, it's really boring. I mean, I don't have time for that because I'm always like, I want to get my job done and I want to go back home
Yeah.
because I want to spend time with my kids.
Yeah.
So there's no time for anything now.
No, the reason I asked you is because I wanted to know whether that perception came in the way, in the kind of films that were offered to you,
Yeah.
at least initially in your career.
I'm sure.
I know you made a very bold and different choice
Yeah.
for Refugee as your debut film.
Yeah, I think that, people always make assumptions and they kind of loved that character so much.
Yeah.
Because you've never seen a mainstream actor play a role like Pooh.
Yeah.
Everyone was doing the
Yeah.
sari clad, quintessential heroine, dancing kind of vibe. Somehow, Pooh at that generation was very ahead of its time for a mainstream actor to play a part. So I think people kind of just got hooked onto that.
Yeah.
That after 23 years, people are still, Gen Z is associating with that more than it was at that time. So, I mean, I think it's probably the vision of Karan, the way the character was written, that it will always truly be remembered in every generation.
Yeah. So how easy or difficult is it for you to switch from say a Pooh to a Chameli, or move from a Jab We Met or a Golmaal to an Omkara?
For me, it's like I always love acting.
Yeah.
So that's my top priority.
Yeah.
I get attracted to just being in front of the camera, not, like I need to even look good or whatever. Of course, I mean, being on screen is also a visual medium, but I like acting. I love acting. It's I've wanted to do it ever since I've been a child.
Yeah.
So that's my topmost priority, playing different parts, So whether it's Dev or Chameli or Yuva or Omkara or Jab We Met, it's always something that I'll do with passion because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah. The Kapoors are known as the first family of the film industry. Did you ever feel the burden of carrying that legacy ahead?
I mean, of course, it's a different kind of a burden, I mean, everyone has their fair share of kind of, struggles or problems or issues when you, start off and you feel. Of course, the pressures were, extremely mammoth because my sister was a very big superstar. My father, my mother, of course, the whole family legacy, my uncles, my aunts, my everything, my grandfather. So there was always pressure that I need to carve myself a place that people kind of know that I'm also, talented and I'm also part of this legacy.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just be part of it because I belong there. It has to be the fact that I have to create my own.
Yeah.
So that I was very conscious about.
You said you wanted to become an actor, your parents are actors as well, but was there any hesitation from home in allowing you to become one?
No, I think in fact I had it easy because, Karishma was always, she had paved the way and she was already such a big star. And, that misconception of like, that the Kapoor girls can't work. My father's always been very, very cosmopolitan, very modern. He was quite like supportive when I told him. He was like, whatever you do, just remember that it's a really, really hard job out there and nothing's going to come easy just because you have this name.
Yeah.
And you have to work very hard. So yeah, figure it out on your own. So I mean, that's what he told me and he was very supportive.
Yeah, and 20 plus years in the industry is a very, very long time, and you had an extensive body of work in this period. But people only see the good side of stardom.
Of course.
I'm sure there must have been disappointments along the way. Did they hurt you or upset you in any way? How did you deal with them?
I mean, there's disappointment in, I'm sure, in every profession, in every phase of your life. Everything is not going to be rosy and hunky-dory. So obviously, there were times when, even I was like, I want people to always know that, I want to be known as an actor, a good actor, somebody who, comes from this family but is also made a mark of, for herself. So that's why then I started picking films that where I could kind of, prove my mettle as an actor. So whether it was Chameli or Dev or Omkara, those were conscious efforts of staying a little away from the commercial films to prove myself as an artist.
Yeah. Are you competitive by nature?
I think every actor has to be slightly competitive because it's healthy. If there's no competition, you won't strive to be, better. And I wouldn't want to ever get comfortable, because when you get too comfortable,
Yeah.
then there's no fun.
And it's boring.
So a little bit of competition is,
Yeah.
I think, it's fun and healthy.
Yeah, you've seen everything in the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
What is the change that you've seen in yourself as a person and as an artist?
I think I'm, of course, with age a lot more calmer. I kind of know the whole drill of how the industry is going to work, or how films are going to pan out, how shoots are going to happen. I think it's a lot more because, out of being around, and then I actually experienced Karishma's career as well, because I was a lot on her shoots.
Right.
So I would actually calculate 23 years of my life, which almost 10, 13 years of hers.
Correct.
So I've probably, just been around. So to kind of rattle me now, it's really going to take a lot.
Yeah, you're an example of someone who can have it all. Career, marriage, kids, family, a good life. What is that one trait in you that helps you fulfill all these roles seamlessly and effortlessly?
I think wherever I am at that time, I'm in that moment at that time. Like if I'm at work, then I'm at work. If I'm at home, then I just kind of switch off, and that's the time that I have with my family, with my husband and my children. So there's a very clear demarcation in my life that there's this part which will always be the most important, which it is, and then will be my career. I think it's just, earlier it was only like,
Yeah.
you're focused on your career. But I chose that I want to have a life as well, because for me as a woman, it's important that that's what I wanted. Everyone has the right to choose what they wish in their life. So this was a very important part of my life, which I was very clear on, that I will always work, but I will also go home to my family, which is extremely important. So I balance it, but I kind of have learned the art to cut off.
Right. You don't seem to have a business side. I don't know if you do. I mean, there are so many actors who are investing in brands or starting their own ventures. Are you someone who's wanting to venture into that space?
I mean, everyone's doing these startups or
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know, starting a business or a line or something.
Clothing line, cosmetics line.
There's so many options, and I'm sure it's amazing. The thing is with me is that if I do something, I have to just really, really believe in it and do it.
Right.
I can't just do it. I mean, I'll invest in some company or I'll try something like that. But if I have to really start a business, I have to give that time. I have to give, my passion. It has to be the way I am. Like the way I am with my characters or with my roles. Because that product is not just a product or a business. It has to be loved.
Correct.
So if I really have to do that, it means it's something I deeply believe in. So let's see. I mean, right now I've not really thought of, starting any sort of business. But I mean, everyone's doing startups now.
But you're a brand in yourself. You lend your name and your face to so many of these brands. Is there a checklist that you follow or a hygiene that you look at?
I mean, I must be comfortable putting my name to it, There's so many things, so many products, so many brands.
Yeah.
But it has to reflect so much of you, because people will see it,
Correct.
So, yeah, I don't know, it's just maybe some things that, I would want to encourage, having 2 children. So keeping a few things in mind.
Right.
Sometimes I say no, and it's good to say no sometimes.
But you're turning producer now with Hansel Mehta's
Yeah.
film. How has that experience been, and how is the film shaping up?
I think it's amazing because it's not a typical commercial film.
Okay.
It's a film. It's actually 80% English.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not. It's English and Hindi.
Okay.
80-20. It's a really different story of a mother who lives in the UK. So it's a small, different kind of movie that I thought that I would love to be a part of, act in it, as well as give my name as a producer. So, and Hansel being such a fantastic filmmaker, I thought this was the right thing to do. I don't know if I would do future films, produce, because this was just like a one-off.
Okay.
But yeah, let's see. Hopefully, we're trying to release the film this year.
So you haven't started a production house on your own?
No.
Okay. You just turned producer with this.
Just with this, and if I don't know, I like something else, maybe 5 years later I might produce that. But there's no production house, and I can't do all that.
So, I mean, you have Jaane Jaan, you have Hansel Mehta's film, and there's Crew as
Yeah.
well, right? So, there's a lot to look forward to.
There is. And they're all three very different. And Crew will be commercial and it'll have all the glam
Right.
to it. So
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah. You weren't on social media all this while, but you now on Instagram.
Yeah.
You decide how much you want to put out and how much you don't
I
want
think
to.
I put out quite a bit because there's a lot out there,
Yeah.
because it'll always be very genuine and organic.
Right.
And in fact, a lot of people have come up to me and told me they really enjoy my
Yeah.
Instagram account because I haven't really taken it. I joined late, so I never got onto that bandwagon of
Yeah.
planning or plotting or buying followers, getting to this, and now I have to do this. I never. It was just really organic. I went on Instagram and it was locked down like literally,
Yeah.
I don't know, a week later or something like that. So the account has just grown. It's just
Right.
something that I'll just put if I feel it.
Yeah.
So that's why there will be pictures of my family on it,
Yeah.
but sometimes maybe not.
But does the constant attention get a bit too much? And is it sometimes good to take time off and even stay away from work for a while?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think most actors should do that because it's such an important part to just, let yourself go for some time and
Yeah.
get away. And there's so much in life to see, to do,
Yeah.
to meet people. And I think all of that kind of adds up to, how your life is going to end up or, how it's going to be.
The film industry went through a tough phase in the last couple of years. Your own film, Lal Singh Chaddha, didn't do as well as it was
Yeah.
expected. But things are looking up now. So many films are doing well.
Absolutely.
The business is booming. What do you think is required to keep this momentum alive?
Good scripts. Because I feel, at least I believe, I think the theatres were always there.
Yeah.
You didn't give them anything amazing. If you give them something amazing, a good film, they will go. There has to be that one hook. So maybe it wasn't there in, the last 2-3 years, and now suddenly, it's the script. If you go back to see whichever film has worked, the script has all been very entertaining,
Yeah.
lots of fun, great music, and the overall content and script has been quite fab.
Absolutely.
So the films, if you go back to see that which haven't worked, have been pretty much like, there's been a connectivity issue or it hasn't really been 100%. So you can't really blame either, the industry or the cinemas or the audience. I think it's us that need to keep doing and bringing out new entertaining kind of scripts. And when you do, I think they just love it.
What's your opinion on the younger lot in the industry, the actors, the technicians, the directors as well, and whose work do you admire the most?
I think everybody today, because like you said, the OTT platform coming in, there are some amazing actors that sometimes you just see on a show and you're like, oh my god, like just brilliant. I've seen so many shows and so many movies on the OTT platform where I'm like, I've never seen such actors. Like Tilutuma Shom is one such actor. There's so many. Rasika Dugal. They're just, I see them and I'm just like, like guys, like what are they doing? They're amazing.
Yeah.
Like I would be like shuddering if I had to like, stand. So today it's not about, who's a star, who's a superstar. Today you have to give a shot.
Yeah.
And I think amazing stuff is being made, like Zoya and Rima are so bright. They made like, whether it's Made in Heaven, whether it's, Dahar, their show, Dahar, the way they just do such amazing stuff. Today everybody is doing something amazing.
And what has kept Kareena going for all these years? What is the secret of her longevity?
I think just kind of being true to whatever I do, just living my life at the same time, being happy with what I have. That's also really important, is to also be content, try to be content with what you have, and of course strive to, be better than what you are at some point. But I can't really say there's any potion as such, because that there isn't.
And what can one expect from you in the future now?
Hopefully another 23 years, wanting to always do that. And you asking me again, what's the secret in our next interview?
Thank you so much. I think that's a good note to end on. Always a pleasure talking to you,
Yeah.
Kareena Kapoor. Absolute pleasure.